have a returning guest, Danica Tormohlen. She is the be all end all of all media in trade show. She's done it all, seen it all, and why I was so excited to have you back was a lot has happened since the last time we spoke. I mean, we spoke, and it was early 2020. It
Yeah.
was quiet, dark times, and things had changed a lot for you at that time. You'd done a lot of freelance stuff, and you were kind of bouncing around doing a lot of different stuff, a lot of different organizations. So, what I would love to know is, as of today, what is going on with you, and what's well, let's start with where you're working today.
Yeah,
And we'll
sure.
work back a little bit. So,
Yeah, no problem. I am so happy to be here with you again. So thank you for having me and asking me to do this. So I'm VP of Content for Informa Connect. I've been with TSNN, so Trade Show News Network, Corporate Event News, and we launched Exhibit News Now earlier this year. So for exhibitors, exhibitors can always use education.
Absolutely.
And so really excited to launch that. And started with Tarsus in January, and about 6 weeks later, we were bought by Informa. So today I am an employee of Informa Connect, and I am super excited. I've never worked for a large corporate publicly traded company and out of the UK. So I'm really excited about all the opportunities that are in store.
Definitely. And over the years, like you've been covering all different shows and all different walks. And what's really nice is that now you have such a catalog that you have access to for so many shows, and especially in that Informa Connect, there's so much content that goes through there, and so it must be just like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah,
So,
we've been integrating, and we're getting ready. I'm just now getting I just got an Informa email. I am getting my new computer next week. So really,
Yeah.
we're really ramping up for our integration and to see where all the synergies are with, all the different brands in our portfolio. It's also, we have Connect as part of is part of Informa,
Right.
MeetingsNet is part of Informa, BizBash. So there's a whole meetings and trade show now portfolio.
That's
so
great,
yeah.
and I am really interested to hear about what you're doing with the exhibitor training and things. So, can you talk a little bit more about that and how that rolled out? And
Yeah, so we have a website that we launched in March, and it is just about exhibitor news. So we want exhibitors to have a better show, right? I mean, and there are so many exhibitors. Working this industry for so long, and you know the same thing too. There's the large companies that have whole divisions that, are well run, and they spend a lot of money, but there's a lot of mid-size and then the first time exhibitors, and that's really the backbone of the industry.
Yeah.
We want to be fresh. We want new companies, new startups to come in, and the best way to help them have a good show is to educate them.
Definitely, and that, like, the grassroots of every show are those first time exhibitors that become second time, that grow into become big exhibitors with the success that they have, and the more that you can put it on a tee for them, to have a great event, and organizers should be doing this across the board, and very few are doing it. So it's great to see when an organizer is forward thinking enough to integrate that and give people access to it. Is that
Yeah.
also something that is it based solely for their portfolio of Informa shows, or is this something that anybody anywhere can access?
Anybody. It was before we were acquired. We launched right. It might have been like a week before we were acquired that we launched.
Wow.
And so it's for every exhibitor for any show. So we cover all, every industry has a trade show, and
Yep.
there's so many exhibitors out there. It's a huge market. It's a
Right.
huge market. But
Right.
whether they get the education and really, can apply that. So we're trying to give them a variety of different information on how to have a better show, how to market better, how to save money. anything that will help exhibitors have a better show.
That's setting them up for success is so important, because the other side of that is everybody looks good when they do good. They're happy about the show. They're happy about the contractor that's moving their freight around and then building their booth. Everything is good when they're doing good business. So if you could set that up, or set them up for success on show as an organizer, it's so important. And and I was recently having a conversation specifically on that, and the effectiveness of exhibitors on the show, and how some companies actually, like, they don't put their top salespeople at a trade show because they're busy selling. They want junior or second tier, and then it's like a lost opportunity, because when you have the most dense clients in one room, it's shooting fish in a barrel, if you will. And so with that, it's like it's almost like a big miss for companies to not take it serious, come up with a plan, and really have utilize tools like that going into it to be prepared.
Well, and it's in person, right? It's the best right now, as COVID is now, feels like forever ago, right? But it really wasn't. I mean, it still, companies are ramping up, but I think that they have understood now the value of face-to-face, right? That, it is such a great marketing channel, and a way that you can make such a different impression really quick. When you're scanning a website, everybody scans the same website.
It's impersonal.
It's not the same. This is the best medium to make a quick, good impression. And get a feel. Like, is your product going to be hot? Is it resonating with the press, with customers? The buyers. You can tell right away.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, we'd like to elevate the exhibiting experience and talk about the business of trade shows. And the value that it gives to companies. It is when I try to tell people, like, what I do, like my family or friends, I say everybody that probably goes to a trade show or exhibits in a trade show. I have so many friends that, as I get older, I have friends that own businesses. They all go to trade shows, or they exhibit in trade shows. The value of trade shows to help a business grow is just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what else is coming up that we can see that's exciting and new coming from your department and the media?
Yeah. So I also oversee Trade Show News Network. So we have a weekly newsletter. We put up daily content on our websites, and then we have social channels. I have a podcast. So new for me, I started doing the podcast in June of this year. So we do twice a month. I've had some great people. I'm lucky, like you, know a lot of people. And last month we had Tom Gattuso from SEMA Show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. I loved, I love what I do. I love to interview people. I'm curious. I want to find out stuff. So, and I want to present it to people in however they want to get the information. Some people want to read, a social media. Some people want to watch video. I've been doing more video. There's a lot more of that. Podcasts. Newsletters, whatever.
Yeah, and it's fascinating too when you get to talk to someone like that, because when you have an event of that magnitude with hundreds of thousands of people going to it, it's
they were the largest show of, as far as I know, they're the largest show of 2023, 150,000 attendees.
Wild.
And they did so it's always interesting too to see they're launched a festival for the weekend. So they have their B2B show, and then they launched a music festival for the weekend. Cool. First time ever, they let in consumers on the last day of the show, and then had Imagine Dragons was their headliner.
Oh, wow.
They had Third Eye Blind, Bush. They had several bands, and it was like $180 for a ticket, and they sold 16,000 tickets. So, everybody's been talking about festivalization of shows and, there's a lot more direct to consumer, right? So I can see a lot of industries heading in this direction, but it's really,
kind of a commingling B2C with B2B.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, you'll hear like of anything in the food and beverage industry would have like a tasting day. It's kind of like that. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's probably opportunities for growth, not only growth in revenue, but also, branding and awareness for different industries.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Well, you said it before, and it's like great to touch on about like how the whole pandemic seemed like so long ago, and now we're so far beyond it. And you're right, like within the length of time, we're not really that far, but the way our industry has snapped back has been like it was forever ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, people really do see the value of face-to-face, because I've seen almost all the shows that survived and went through it are coming back stronger and bigger, and also more dialed in as well. Like our customers are very much dialed into their customer needs and customer focus, because there's a lot of competition out there, so you have to bring the value add. So where can we hear your podcast? I'd love to get people to click on.
That would be great. So you can find us on any streaming service. It's called Trade Show Talk, and it is on Spotify is how I listen to it, or it's also on our websites too. So tsnn.com and exhibitnewsnow.com, and our podcast is on there. So, and then we have a YouTube channel, so you can also see it there.
All right, Trade Show Talk.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be tuning in. Thank you so much. It's so great to see you, and thank you again for being here at the Expo.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. Always good to see you.
Thanks.